One European leader's control has broken, allowing energy supplies to reach a continent currently facing a massive financial crisis. For months, the European Union stayed stuck in a geopolitical deadlock. This crisis centered on a critical energy supply line rather than a military front, the Druzhba oil pipeline, which serves as a vital artery for regional fuel distribution. Ukraine restarts pipeline. Kiev, Brussels, and Budapest fought over whether Ukraine's economic survival and EU energy security should serve as leverage during their ongoing bitter diplomatic dispute, creating intense friction across the continent. By the fifth year of war, massive funding became necessary, but one single veto blocked the entire path to securing those essential financial resources. The situation was dire. Losing this funding would have collapsed Ukraine's budget. Meanwhile, the pipeline failure threatened energy supplies for Hungary and Slovakia. Energy infrastructure and sovereign debt collided, creating a critical crisis that decided the future of European security. The long-standing deadlock is finally over. Following recent diplomatic negotiations and critical technical agreements, the European Union officially approved a massive €90 billion loan for Ukraine. This critical money provides a vital lifeline covering two-thirds of Ukraine's essential budget requirements throughout the 2026 and 2027 fiscal years. The breakthrough happened when crews repaired the damaged Druzhba pipeline. This infrastructure, which carries Russian oil to Europe, became a major bargaining chip for the Kremlin. After extensive repairs, Ukraine fixed the broken pipes and can now pump Russian oil to Hungary and Slovakia again. This reopening of the Druzhba pipeline restores vital energy flows to these nations. This move breaks the months-long deadlock. Before this, Viktor Orban's government used its veto power to block these specific funds, stalling the entire process through nationalist-driven policy shifts in Hungary. The fight started because Hungary and Slovakia faced significant oil supply disruptions. Once Kiev reopened the Druzhba pipeline, the technical and political reasons for the Hungarian blockade simply vanished. This timing matters. While EU ambassadors met in Cyprus, they gave preliminary approval to the I-90 billion loan at the same time the EU released its 20th package of sanctions against Russia, highlighting a period of intense diplomatic maneuvering. This coordinated move shows Europe acting together, despite the internal disagreements that split them recently. The European Parliament moved forward on the legislation. Lawmakers passed the 2006-2007 support package proposals with a 458 to 140 vote, confirming the new budget framework for the upcoming two-year period. This decisive vote showed the European Parliament will support Kiev, signaling a commitment to the ongoing reconstruction efforts, even as the Council struggled with the final legal frameworks. The Council of the European Union worked to set the legal framework needed to implement the European Council's agreement. They wanted to make sure the first payments went out as early as the second quarter of the year. This timeline remains the primary focus for officials. To understand why things are changing, look at Budapest politics. Viktor Orban's 16-year hold on Hungary is finally breaking, marking a real departure from his long-standing era of dominance. Péter Magyar's election changed everything. By fixing Budapest's broken ties with Brussels, he has finally eased tensions with the EU. This sudden political change finally broke the long-standing diplomatic deadlock that had stalled negotiations for years. The loan's financial structure relies on specific economic moves. Since plans to use frozen Russian central bank assets failed, the EU had to use its common budget and the shared resources of its member states to fund the initiative. Now, the EU's biggest contributors must handle this massive, essential financial burden, managing the immense costs of the newly approved €90 billion loan. With the resumption of oil pumping through the pipeline, the deadlock appears to be ending. EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas stated that the loan is a sign that Russia cannot outlast Ukraine. Restarting pipeline services connects the €90 billion loan directly to Ukraine's economy, as the funds are intended to help meet Ukraine's urgent financing needs. This bank transfer changes the conflict's trajectory. It is a massive shift in how funds move. This €90 billion package proves the European Union can still fund Ukraine. It shows the Kremlin that Western resources remain available, providing the necessary financial stability to keep the Ukrainian resistance moving forward through the coming years. The Druzhba pipeline is still a massive vulnerability because one piece of infrastructure can hold €90 billion hostage. Europe's energy security remains tied to Russian interests. This dependency creates a massive risk for the entire continent. The deadlock ended, but the friction between energy needs and sovereignty remains a massive problem. The war is shifting toward a test of economic endurance rather than just battlefield maneuvers. The EU has shown it can maintain deliveries despite intense political friction from member states like Hungary, demonstrating a resilient, albeit strained, supply chain. This massive funding must now outrun the rapidly rising costs of a war entering its fifth year, as the conflict's prolonged duration continues to drain essential resources. Global power dynamics are changing, and this loan's impact will last for years. To keep up with these shifting geopolitical trends, subscribe and turn on notifications. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Drop a comment below and let's discuss it. Many Indian nations in Akir distat tang with Adrian Deventures of Thetaliste and Tu Wei. To explain to adopt these geos, that is, lighted, not T. Can the EU's €90 billion commitment actually shift the war's trajectory? Tell me what you think in the comments. I'll keep tracking the story as more details emerge.